In Unnatural Writing, Gary Snyder says, nature's writing has the potential of becoming the most vital, radical, fluid, transgressive, pansexual, subductive, and morally challenging kind of writing on the scene, which sounds very much like Gary Snyder. In becoming so, it may serve to help halt one of the most terrible things of our time, the destruction of species and their habitats, the elimination of some living beings forever. In light of these thoughts and a great thrust of environmental writing, what do you feel is the single most important thing we can do to save the prairie?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think bear witness. I mean, if we can't, who live here, near what remains of the prairie, if we can't bear witness to the significance of it, the love of it, and the importance of it, it's doomed. It's absolutely doomed. And I don't use that term witnessing lightly. I think we are living in a place of ecological genocide. And the witnessing of that, and the remembering of it, remembering what's lost, and advocating for change moving into the future, is a spiritual and moral mandate. So,
It makes me think when you said that. I teach a class in the May term called Writing the Hills, and it's basically a field trip into the Loess Hills every day, and we write about it. It's awesome. But
I want to take this.
Yeah, one of my students, the first time I taught it, it was a great statement. I don't remember what the context was exactly, but we were talking a lot about habitat destruction, and talking about really just the natural flows of more rain, more woods, more drought, more prairie, and that's the flow of things. It comes and it goes, and that's been kind of the way the prairie's been around here for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
And so her point was like, so why should we really care? Like, so what if this is the time that it goes, and then and woods overtake, or these other species overtake? I mean, hasn't that become the natural course of things? And so I would like you to respond to that. I mean, I had my own response to that, and then
Well, we don't take that
what does
attitude
that
with our
say
own
for us?
species.
Yeah.
We don't take that attitude with our own species. And we are a destructive natural force. Yet we're protecting ourselves all the time in our destructive capacity. Now, that's not the prairie, but I mean, the reason we do it is because we choose to do it. And the prairie is far more endangered than any other ecosystem, maybe on the planet. So it needs our help, if it's going to survive. Now, if this were back in the day, right before European settlement and so forth, and it was, nature was allowed, prairie and forests were allowed to battle it out on their own, Titan against Titan, that'd be another thing altogether. And you're right. I mean, there's some evidence that actually forest was winning that battle by the time European settlement occurred here. And if that had been delayed even by a few decades, or maybe a century, Iowa might have been as forested as Michigan, but that's not what happened.
Right.
Another natural force came in, us, and we did all this damage, and the result is there's this place in need of saving. And that's really the bottom line, is if we don't consciously decide to save it, it won't be saved. So we're in control of it.
Kind of a scary thought.
Yeah.
And empowering at the same time, it goes both ways.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's one of the hardest things to reconcile. The idea that we can just go back to the good old days. Like there is no more good old days. There is no going back to pre-Lewis and Clark or any of that. We're never going to put all that back in the box. And so whatever it's going to be moving forward, it's going to be because we have chose to manage or manage it well or mismanage it. And that's that's our responsibility as stewards of the land. It gets very biblical then, and I think Wes Jackson writes about this idea, quite a bit, and Richard Manning writes about this idea, and
which is a product of sin. Our position as stewards of the land is a result of sin.
Wendell Berry writes about this all the time.
Exactly.
So.